Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to day 2 of this masterclass, Living Out Your Most Magical Life. Day 1, we really talked about this realization that you are not different, that you can have whatever it is that you desire, whatever it is that you desire, whatever it is that you want, you deserve that. That was a huge, huge, huge focus for day 1, recognizing you don't need anything outside of yourself. It's like, I can just decide that this is actually what I want for my life, and you get to experience it. We talked about surrounding yourself with people who push you, who lift you up. We were just having a conversation before I actually press record here. And it was like, I just feel this energy, right? It's like, I wasn't expecting this like energy. And this is what happens when you surround yourself with the right people who push you, who lift you up, who remind you what you're actually capable of, who remind you what's actually possible. So that was a huge aspect of day 1. Now, at the end of this call, we're going to be diving into the 3 core aspects: health, relationships, and confidence. And it's going to be more geared towards you and creating your magical life and your health, relationships, and confidence. But at the end of this call, I'm going to be giving you a very special opportunity to dive deeper with me to change your life. Now, this opportunity is not going to be for everyone, but this special opportunity is, hi, Cindy, is for the woman who knows that your life is really good right now, but your potential is so much greater. You know that there's a next level. It's like you want to push yourself to that next level. You want to truly live a life where you feel like an unstoppable badass. So be sure to stay until the end, because there's going to be a very special opportunity that I'm going to share with you at the end of this call. Okay. What I want to do right now is I want to break down the 3 categories that I spoke about on day 1: health, relationships, and confidence. I want to break down each one of these specific categories and share with you how you can create magic in all of those 3 different categories of your life. So the first one is health. If you are live with me, drop health in the chat. If you're able to participate live, you can drop health in the chat box. So there's so many different buckets that go into health, right? Like when we look at like health, we've got relationship with food, we have gut health, we have hormones, right? We have energy, we have mood. Like there's so many different aspects when it comes to health. But I'm going to be focusing on these 3 today: relationship with food, and then also gut health and hormones. Okay. So, relationship with food. I want you to do a little bit of an audit. Mostly all of you guys are already working on your relationship with food. You're already becoming less impulsive with food. But where do you feel like there's room for improvement? Where do you feel like there's still a little bit of a sticky point? Is it the evenings? Is it, when you're stressed and overwhelmed? Is it when you're home alone? Is it social events? Is it, experiencing the all or nothing mentality? I want you to take a minute and audit where in your relationship with food does it still feel like there's a little bit of a sticking point. Although things are going well for you and you have been healing your relationship with food, which is so incredibly exciting, where is there a sticking point? So you can drop that in the chat. Where do you still want to improve regarding your relationship with food? I want you to think about this. Evenings for sure. Yep. So if you're watching live, you can drop it in the chat. If you're catching the replay, you can just think about this for yourself. Regardless of where you want to take things to the next level regarding your relationship with food, one of the most important things to recognize when it comes to binge eating and your relationship with food is this is all a habit. One of my clients had a breakthrough moment when she understood this, and I'm actually going to pull it up of what she said. She dropped it in her private chat. She says, the biggest light bulb for me was when you explained how this was all a habit. Once you noticed it, I couldn't stop noticing it. And as soon as I noticed that something that miserable was just a habit, it made it tangible. It made it easier to deal with. I stopped feeling like this scary cloud of potential illness, and it was something that I can actually handle. I can't remember the last time I binged. So recognizing that this is all habitual, whether it's I feel tired, oh, there's a negative thought, boom, turn to food. Oh, evenings, long day of work, turning to food. It's all habitual. I want to make conquering binge eating so much easier for you. It actually does not have to be this complicated process. But the first aspect, regardless if you've already made progress with your relationship with food and there's still some lingering things going on, it's reminding yourself it's just habitual. But when you look at it like that, from that perspective, it's like, I'm not broken. There's nothing wrong with me. I just have this habit that I'm engaging in that I don't really like the fact that I'm engaging in it, but it's not like this like big daunting thing. It's just like, okay, the evenings, okay, it's habitual. Tiredness, okay, it's habitual. Negative thoughts, it's habitual. When you recognize this, conquering seems so much closer. When you recognize this, conquering becomes so much closer. This is why my clients tell me all the time, like, Lorna, it's so crazy. Like, I just don't have any urges. Because once you recognize it's a habit, you stop seeing it as like, it's like this, it's like so distant of how I'm going to conquer. It's just like, oh, wait, it's habitual. So if I engage in this habit and I've wired my brain into this, that means I can also rewire my brain out of these negative thoughts, out of evening snacking, out of, emotional eating. So it's definitely a lot easier to see I can conquer when it's just a habit, just to unwire the habit. Yes, yes, yes. Habit, 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 which is why I always talk about rewiring your brain. Like, even if you've already deleted MyFitnessPal, you've stopped dieting, right? It's like you guys haven't dieted in a really long time. You're having binge-free weeks, or even having binge-free months, but I want to help you sustain it, and you will get there so much faster when you actually rewire your brain, which is why I haven't personally binged in over 4 years, and why so many of my clients feel like, I can't remember the last time that I binged. So that is relationship with food. We're going to go to gut health and hormones. Maybe you have heard about gut health, you've heard about hormones, maybe you know a lot about gut health and hormones, maybe you don't really know a lot about gut health and hormones. But what I want you to focus on right now, and I want you to kind of audit for yourself, when it comes to gut health, when it comes to hormones, what do you want to focus on? So there's a few different buckets, gut health and hormones. It's mood, it's digestion. So even bloating would be part of digestion, energy, sleep, brain fog. Where in the bucket of gut health and hormones do you still want to focus on? Maybe you're like, I don't know, I want to be bloat free. Maybe you're like, I want to have so much energy. Maybe you're like, I really want to stabilize my mood. Maybe you want to clear up acne, because that also impacts hormones. Digestion, focus. Yes, I love that. I remember when I was on my journey, I literally stopped focusing on like becoming the smallest me. I'm like, I don't even care about that anymore. I'm like, I want energy. I think I was sharing yesterday. I was like, I just want to be like this energizer bunny. I wanted great digestion. Like, I wanted to walk into a restaurant and be free of bloating and just eat whatever I want without worrying about, like, is this going to upset my stomach and all these food sensitivities? It's like, I just wanted freedom. So In terms of hormones, gut health, energy, digestion, I want you to think about what do you specifically want to take things to the next level. I want to be free of bloating, have energy, positivity, and clear mind. Yes. It might even be like stabilizing mood, be less snappy with my children, right? There's so many different aspects. One thing when it comes to gut health, I want to share one thing that you can specifically do when it comes to gut health, and then one thing you can specifically do for hormones. Of course, there's so many things you can do for your gut health and your hormones. Same with relationship with food. I only just shared one perspective shift, but when it comes to gut health, something that you have to remember is your gut impacts mood, energy, digestion. It's not the sexy thing, right? Like no one talks about, I am so excited to work on my gut health. Like no one really talks about that. You know, even I think back in my journey back in 2019, when I started healing my relationship with food, people weren't even talking about not even gut health. People were not even talking about relationship with food. It's not like this sexy thing to focus on where it's like, I'm doing keto or I'm doing intermittent fasting where everyone's talking about it. It's not this sexy thing. But you know what's sexy is being free of bloating. You know what's sexy is being the most energized person in the room. You know what's sexy is having a positive mindset, a clear mindset, having so much focus and being productive, having a healthy digestive system. That's what's sexy. You feeling like you're the most unstoppable badass because you have all of these things. So one thing that you can start doing for gut health is variety in your diet. Drop variety in the chat box. Now, when I say diet, you guys all know, like I just mean in terms of what you're eating. Do you have a diet that is filled with different foods and different nutrients? I used to be so guilty of honestly just eating the same foods day in and day out because I'm like, don't want to have to think about it. It's actually so much easier. I'm just gonna, eat the same foods. Like, just so much easier. Even when I was tracking, it's like, I'm just gonna copy and paste. But even when I stopped tracking, I haven't tracked my food in like 7 years now. It was like, it's just easier. If I just have kind of like the same foods, it's just easy. I don't have a thing, just meal prep. Okay, eat the same things every single day. Your gut thrives when there is variety, when there is a variety of different nutrients and different foods. So diversifying what you're eating will change your gut health, which inevitably will help with digestion, focus, bloating, energy, positivity, having a clear mind. There are different microbes in your gut. And we got to like feed all these different like microbes. So if you're just eating the same thing every single day, you're doing yourself a disservice. The greater the diversity, the better your gut health. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. So for me, you guys all know I love my pancakes. Okay. I love my pancakes, but I will change up either how I make them or I will change even the toppings. So this morning, I put frozen blueberries and frozen mango on top of them. One morning, I had pear. The other time, I had a nectarine. Even for vegetables, instead of just going, I'm going to have broccoli. I'm going to have broccoli all the time. It's like, how can you have variety? Different types of vegetables. I go to every Thursday, I go to a farmer's market, and it's actually so close I can just walk there. They have fruits and vegetables in season, which is actually really good for your gut health and your hormones. But there's limitations, right? It's like, okay, these fruits and vegetables are in season, but I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to pick up other foods so that I can have variety. I picked up artichokes. They don't have that at the farmer's market. Swiss chard, bok choy, some broccoli sprouts, variety. Variety. So variety in fruits, variety in vegetables, variety of meats, variety of carbs. Even for carbs, it's like, okay, I love sweet potatoes, but one time I'll do sweet potatoes. Another time I'll do white potatoes. Another time I'll do quinoa. I'll do brown rice. I'll do basmati rice. Variety. Your gut loves variety. And I will honestly like purposely try different foods. I'm like, I'm working on my gut health. Like I get so excited. So the one thing that you can start doing today to transform your gut health is variety. Being diverse in what you're eating. If you have grapes every day for a snack, change it up. If you have the same carb, the same protein, change it up. Different protein, fresh fruits, vegetables, carbs, protein, all that stuff. And if you have something that you can think about of what you want to switch up, you can drop it in the chat. Now, when it comes to hormones, that was gut health. When it comes to hormones, again, I'm going to be really talking about this in a much deeper way in the experience that I'm going to be sharing with you at the end of this training. But when it comes to hormones, hormones also play a huge role in how you feel: energy, mood, digestion, sleep. Your mood is influenced by your hormones. Your energy is influenced based off of how balanced your hormones are. I thought totally different that mono diet helps digest smoothly. Well, again, so again, this is why everyone's different. And this is why at the end of this call, I'm going to share a different experience. But when it comes to gut health and the gut microbiome, diversity is so important. Now, when it comes to people who have certain digestive issues and we're getting more customized, yeah, it might be like, okay, well, maybe for a plate, like in one simple meal, maybe you're not going to have, turkey sausage and then beef and then potatoes and then rice and then a salad with tomatoes and cucumbers. That might be a lot. But just overall, it's like, how can I change it up? So it's like, okay, today I have pasta, tomorrow I have rice, and then the next day I have quinoa, and then the next day I do something else. So that's the way that I would look at it. Love the idea of switching up carbs, have to do that with different rices. Also just realized I would like to try more vegetables. My husband might not want to, but I can get a small portion for me for the week. Yeah, my husband doesn't like artichokes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go buy 3 artichokes for me, and then I'll have them periodically. Right? So important. Hormones, gut health. One thing that you can do to better support your hormonal health is reducing your exposure to toxins. This changed my life. I used to experience hormonal issues, adrenal fatigue. I shared even with bloating yesterday in terms of gut, but something that I did and I still do to this day, Andrew and I still prioritize in our household, is reducing toxic chemicals, cleaning products, laundry detergent, soaps, perfume, toothpaste, deodorant. I prioritize all natural cleaning products, soaps, deodorants, because the chemicals in all of these products impact your hormones. And you don't have to all of a sudden change your whole life around. You can do it step by step, right? Maybe it's like, okay, you get all natural deodorant, and then maybe another time you do all natural toothpaste, and then it's like all natural cleaning products, and then laundry detergent. You can do things step by step. But you have to remember, even perfume. I don't wear perfume. I stopped wearing perfume probably 4 years ago. maybe 5 years ago. When it comes to makeup, I get all natural makeup. Because even let's even say perfume or makeup, and you're putting it on your skin, you're spraying perfume on your body. It's like that soaks into your skin. We're spraying these chemicals, these toxins on your body, on your skin. And that's what alters your hormones. So many people think like, I just need to be focused on like what I'm eating, and that is important. Everyone just thinks like workouts and what I'm eating, and that is important. But what you're breathing, what you're putting on your body, the deodorant, it lasts like 24 hours. It's on your body. Brushing your teeth, how you're cleaning your clothes, cleaning your dishes. It's like we are exposed to this, even shampoo and conditioner, washing our hair. So these are all things that you can actually think about. You can do this slowly, right? Reducing the amount of toxic chemicals in your household, what you're putting on your body, it makes a huge, huge, huge difference for your hormones. We're talking, you guys, about living your most magical life. And if you want the highest energy, you want to feel the best you ever had in your own skin, you want to be in the best mood, you want to be positive, what you guys said, it's like, I want to be positive, I want focus, I want to be free of bloating, I want to have this clear mind. It starts here. This is how we take things from good to great. It's like we look at other aspects of our life, not just what am I eating and what are my workouts? It's all these other aspects. It's not something that many people talk about. But this is going to take everything to the next level, because that's who you are. You're this unstoppable badass that wants to be more mindful, not just of what you're eating, but of all these other aspects. Okay. So we talked about relationship with food. We talked about gut health. We talked about hormones. Huge light bulb moment on the toxins. Would like to focus on this too. Love it. Yes, it changed my life. And it's always a work in progress, but it's like one step at a time. It's like, you know, again, like we're breathing this stuff in, or washing our clothes, like even laundry detergent. It's like, I like even the smell, it's so strong. You know, it's like we're wearing it, perfume, deodorant, you know, toothpaste. So all these different things. Oh, just make sure you guys are muted. Okay. So we're going to move into relationships. When it comes to relationships, again, so many different buckets when it comes to relationships, but I really want to talk about communication. Whether this is friendships, a relationship you have with your boss, a relationship with you have with coworkers, your partner, your children, this all comes down to communication. So I want to talk about this. I created this acronym. I'm going to write it in the chat. I wrote this acronym, CLEAR, because when you want to work on communication, you need to be clear. People can't read your mind. People can't know that you're upset unless you actually tell them you're upset. People can't know what your needs are unless you actually express what your needs are. So I wrote it in the chat, CLEAR, so you can see this down, and we're going to take each letter and I'm going to make it super simple for you. So from the word clear, you can even write this down if you have a piece of paper close to you. The C in clear stands for communicate. If you want to have incredible relationships in your life, you need to communicate. Whether it's a friend, a child, a partner, a loved one, a coworker, a boss, you need to communicate. What's on your mind? People can't read your mind. You need to be able to communicate. The L, you need to listen to respond. So often, it's like, I'm not even going to listen. I already know my response. This is the way I'm feeling. I'm just going to respond without even listening to what the other person has to say. If you want to respond in a calm, relaxed manner and an appropriate way, you need to actually listen to what the other person has to say. You've communicated what was on your mind, and now it's time for you to listen to what the other person has to say. Are you responding without even listening? Or are you listening to respond? So the L stands for listen. We move on to E. You've communicated. You've listened. Now you need to express your emotions. Express how you're feeling. Okay, I feel sad. I feel lonely. I feel angry. I feel like I'm not accepted. I feel not heard. I feel like I don't belong. How do you actually feel? You have to express that. So E is express your emotions. Express how you feel. I feel this way. I feel this way. Okay, so you've got communicate, you've got listen, you've got express your emotions. The A is you need to articulate how you feel. So it's different than expressing how you feel. So expressing how you feel is I feel this way. And then articulating how you feel is I feel this way because. Why? So expressing your emotions is I feel this way. Articulating your emotions is I feel this way because. I feel sad because. I feel lonely because. I feel annoyed because. Why? Why do you feel the way that you do? And your emotions are all valid. I was on a coaching call with a client yesterday, and I was sharing with her how you feel matters. How you feel is valid. Nobody can tell you how you feel, but also nobody can know why you're feeling the way you feel or what emotions you're feeling if you don't even express your emotions or you don't articulate why you feel the way that you do. I feel this way because of why. The reason why articulating your emotions are so important is because there's nothing worse than expressing your emotions without articulating it. I feel sad. And then somebody's like, why? And you're like, oh, no, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm good. That is so frustrating for the other person. You're like, I am so angry. And then your partner's like, why? And you're like, no. Oh, just leave me alone. I'm fine. I promise I'm fine. Just leave me alone. It's like, that's so frustrating. If you're going to express your emotions, articulate why. That's not fair. It actually causes more frustration on both parties. You become more frustrated because you're like, if I say I'm fine, and then they're like, okay, fine, like you're good. And then you're like, no, but I actually want you to care. And then they're like, okay, but I just asked you and you said I'm good. No, but I actually wanted you to care. And you just have to read my mind. I just want you to know that I'm upset. And they're like, well, you're not being very communicative. So communicate, listen, express your emotions, and then articulate why you feel the way that you do. Now, the R is the last part in clear communication. There's two parts: reflect and reset. So reflect and resetting. This is essentially like, okay, I just had a heated conversation or had a difficult conversation, and now I'm going to reflect. Did I respond the way that I wanted to? Were my emotions heightened? What was the tonality in which I communicated how I was feeling? Was I standing up? Was I agitated? Was I loud? Was I snappy? Was I calm? Reflect. Did I go through all the aspects of the clear acronym? Did I communicate how I was feeling? Did I listen before I responded? Did I express how I was feeling and then articulate why? So that's reflect. And then it's good to do a little reset. After a hard conversation or difficult conversation, or even just sharing how you feel with somebody, you might need a little reset. You know, it's like, okay, I gotta like shake shit off. Like I just had this conversation, I just expressed my emotions, and now I need to like, I need a little reset. So this can look like maybe you're like, I'm gonna go for a drive. I'm going to go to a yoga class. I'm going to throw on some music and I'm going to have a little dance party. I'm going to throw on my favorite movie and I'm going to veg out for the rest of the night. Maybe it's I'm going to call a friend. I'm going to call a parent. Maybe you're like, I need to go cry. I'm going to go in my room and I'm going to cry. What can you do to reset? Now, this is very important. You're not bypassing your emotions. This is not, okay, well, I feel sad and I don't want to feel sad. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to go for a drive so that I don't have to feel these emotions. We're not bypassing our emotions. You've expressed how you felt. You articulated it. You've let yourself feel it. You didn't bottle it up and say, I'm fine. No, you expressed, you said why, you reflected, and now it's like, what can I do to shift the energy? What can I do to shake it off? Take time for you, scream, cry. What do you actually need to do for you? I love, for me, it's like sometimes I'll go for a drive. I'll go for a walk. I'll go inside of nature. I'll have a dance party. Sometimes I'll just let myself scream in a pillow or I'll cry. It's like, whew, okay, that's not, or I'll get in the shower and I'm just like, let me just clean everything off. Okay, feel brand new. Okay, so that's the CLEAR acronym. Okay, we talked about health, we talked about relationships. Now let's dive into confidence. Let's talk about confidence. People often don't lack confidence because there's something wrong with you. People often lack confidence because there's fear. Drop fear in the chat if you're live with me, if you're able to participate. Fear of what are people going to think about me? Fear of, oh, but like, what if I fail? Fear of what if it doesn't work? Fear of what if I'm not accepted? And when you actually, I'm going to drop this in the chat, fear, when you look at the word fear, you know what it actually stands for? False evidence that appears real. And here's a little secret. It's actually not real. It's just a made up story in your mind. And it just feels so real because you thought about it so many times. Fear is I have this made up story in my mind and it just keeps on playing and playing and playing and playing and playing. And that's why it feels so real, but it's not actually real. You break down fear by showing yourself the evidence that this fear is not actually true. But you first got to ask yourself, what are the stories you're telling yourself? We kind of talked about this in day one a little bit. What are the stories that you're telling yourself? It might be not giving into my urges feels really hard. Maybe your story is I'm always going to obsess over the way that I look. Maybe the story you keep on telling yourself is once a people pleaser, always a people pleaser, or I lack boundaries. And you keep replaying this story in your head over and over and over and over and over again. So what you need to do is you need to find evidence for why this story is not true in order to break down the fear. So how do we do this? You start asking yourself what's actually true. So let's use the example of maybe the story is giving into my urges feels really challenging. Okay, well, what is actually really true in this moment? Well, you're here, you're on a training, you're actively pursuing healing. What's true might be maybe you stopped, maybe you've had less binges in the past month. Maybe what's true is you've broken other bad habits in the past. Maybe what's true is you've experienced discomfort in so many other areas of your life. Oh, no, but giving into my urges is different. Like that's just like really uncomfortable. Okay, but you've experienced discomfort in your workouts. You ran a marathon. You had difficult conversations at work. Do you see how I'm like debunking the myths? You're convincing yourself the story is like not giving into my urges feels so challenging, but it's like, how can we find proof that that is not even true? Because guess what? You experience discomfort in so many other areas of your life. And the urge to binge is no different. You can handle the discomfort just like you handle discomfort in your workouts. You handle discomfort, maybe getting up on your first alarm when you have to go to work. You've experienced discomfort maybe in a hard conversation with your boss or a coworker. It's no different. So if you can stop other bad habits, you can conquer binge eating. If you can experience discomfort in other areas of your life, you can conquer binge eating. This is a different way of looking at it. This is how you debunk myths. This is how you let go of limiting beliefs and you realize, oh, wait, that story was not even true. You are creating new evidence to say, oh, that's such a silly thought. I can't believe that I thought that way. Okay. Well, yeah, it felt really true, but if I actually break it down, it's not actually true. It's just a story. Boom. This is how we dismantle the fear. This is how you shift your limiting beliefs. So, what I want you to ask yourself right now is what feels real for you right now? What is the story that you keep repeating to yourself over and over and over again that feels really real? But when you really ask yourself some deeper questions, it's like, oh, wait, that's actually not true. Maybe you believe a story because your parents have believed a certain way of thinking, or your parents have instilled this belief in you. And now you're like, oh, I started to believe that to be true as well, too. Or a professional has told you something, and now you're like, this is what I believe. I was sharing this yesterday, that if a professional tells you like, oh, this is going to be so hard, this is going to be really challenging, or a friend tells you that, a coworker, a family member, they're like, oh yeah, it's going to be so challenging. You're like, oh yeah, it's really hard. You literally start to believe it until you actually question yourself. Okay, wait, it might be hard for them, but it's actually not hard for me. Or that's their story, but I don't want to hold on to the story anymore. It's like, I'm going to find a way to break this story because it's actually not even true. Maybe you've heard the story, setting boundaries is mean. I don't want to be seen as mean. I can't set a boundary because I don't want to be rude. And then that's a story you're telling yourself. It's like, let's find evidence to debunk that myth. Well, Lorna has boundaries. Is Lorna mean? No. People respect me more because I have boundaries in my life. I respect people who have boundaries. People who have boundaries, I'm like, yeah, you're my type of person because you value yourself so much that you're going to set a boundary. It's not being mean. It's helpful for me. It's helpful for you. It's helpful for you. It's helpful for the person on the other side. But it's a different, you have to see it in a different lens. So you have to get honest with yourself and recognize that these stories you've just repeated in your head for a really long time. And that's why it feels real. So you overcome fear by stacking evidence to show that this old story that you've repeated to yourself so many times is not actually true. I'm going to find evidence. I'm going to find evidence to prove that this story is not actually true. I did this exact process, which is why I don't people please anymore. I have great relationships. I have boundaries. I overcame binge eating. And I thrive in literally every single aspect of my life because anytime there is fear, anytime there's a story, it's like I pause and I say, that's not the unstoppable badass version of myself. That's an older version of myself. That's actually not the real me. The real me knows anything is possible and I can have anything. So I'm going to actively choose to say goodbye to the story that feels safe and feels comforting because I've repeated the story to myself so many times. And I am going to say, what do I want to believe instead? I'm going to find the evidence. Every aspect of your life can drastically improve. And you need to make a decision. You need to decide. These stories feel so safe and they feel so comforting. And it's like, I just want to keep believing it because I believed it for so long. And my parents believed it, or this coach told me, or this teacher at my school, this teacher told me, or this person told me, or this. That's okay. You can choose to let the old stories go because you are going from a good life to a great life. So this is not just some airy fairy thing where it's like, live your most magical life, la di da di da. This is like, I need to take an honest look at my life and what thoughts I'm thinking and what beliefs I'm having and reprogram and rewire my brain. And this is not even just like, embody the more powerful version of you, like Marita, just embody the most powerful version of you. It's like, no, you are already a powerful human being, but now it's about deciding to take things to the next level. And I'm going to drop this in the chat. It's deciding. Okay, look how I wrote it. So people watching the replay, because there's tons of you watching the replay, it's DE dash SIDING. D and then siding. So I'm purposely spelling it wrong. Why? You need to decide what side you're going to commit to. You're going to have to choose the side of your dreams and your goals that you actually want to fuel and you want to pursue. You got to pick your side. You got to pick your lane. You got to decide, where am I going to go from here? Unstoppable badasses, they're decisive. It's like, forget about the past. Forget about how I used to live my life. Forget about what I used to think. I am deciding I'm not staying in limbo land. I am deciding my life doesn't just get to be good. My life gets to be great. I am deciding an unstoppable badass as my life is good and there's more potential for me. There's no plan B. It's like, no. I know my full potential. I'm here to live the greatest life and I've decided. In 2019, that's when I said, I decided I'm conquering binge eating, and I conquered. Once I healed my relationship with food, I said, I've decided I'm going to have great gut health. I'm going to be this energizer bunny. I'm going to have balanced hormones. I'm going to have the most incredible relationships in my life. I'm going to have strong boundaries. I'm going to let go of people-pleasing tendencies. I've decided, and I became her. Once you decide, you got to become her now. There's no, maybe in 3 months. It's like, I'm going to decide and I get to become her now. There's no waiting game. You are in the driver's seat of your life. I love this analogy of in a car, when you look at a car, The windshield wiper, or like the front windshield, it's so big. Why is the rear view mirror so small? You want to know why? You're not looking back. I've decided I'm looking forward. When I'm in my car, the windshield wiper is massive because there's a bigger vision for me. I'm moving forward in my life. I'm not looking back at the rear view mirror, the rear view mirror. I meant to go forward. I'm not holding on to these old stories. I'm not holding on to, oh, but I struggled with cheating but I've always been bloated. You're not going there. You're moving forward in your life. Future focus. Okay, what's next? What else can I accomplish? This is just who you are. I said this yesterday. I said, this is who you are. You're an unstoppable badass where you just keep on going. Where else can I go from here? Okay, hit one milestone. Okay, healed my relationship with food. Now what am I going to focus on? Okay, I'm starting to have better relationships. How can I turn up the dial on my boundaries and my communication skills even more? You're not looking back at your past, and you're also not looking at what is everyone else doing, because it doesn't matter. So it's time for you to decide. I'm going to be in my car, forward facing, no distraction. I'm not looking at the cars beside me. I'm definitely not looking at the rear view mirror. It's like, I'm only looking forward and the potential that I have and the goals that I still have to reach. So I am giving you an opportunity of a lifetime. You're already healing your relationship with food. You've already probably made some tweaks in terms of you have good relationships in your life. You're feeling better in your own skin. But it's like, I know there's another level. You're not somebody who settles. You're somebody who is extraordinary. And I can even just tell for people who even stayed on this call, it's like there's something about you. You're just different than most people. You don't want less binges. You don't want to ever binge again. You don't want to have good relationships. It's like you want these deep, intimate relationships. And whoever is on live, I'd love to know if you're able to drop in the chat. What do you want? After listening to all this, it's like, what is that next level for you? I'd love for you to drop it in the chat. You're not here to be like everyone else that's living an average good life. It's like you're here for greatness. So you can either stay where you are, because the truth is, all of you guys listening to this, your life is good. Your life is good. You can stay here. Your life is good. Or you can join me in your next level inside of the Unstoppable Badass Retreat. Many of you guys, I want great relationships and work on my dreams. Yes. Oh, I just love that. Yes, yes, yes. Over the past 4 years of me being binge free, helping over 500 clients at this point, I realized that women are just a few small steps away from tapping into your unstoppable badass. It's not far away. You need to shift your beliefs. You got to turn up the dial in your confidence, and you got to be intentional about how you're living your life. So I am hosting the Unstoppable Badass Retreat so that you can stop focusing on what everyone else is doing and fully step into your life, your unstoppable badass life. So throughout this 2-day experience, you're going to know yourself so well that no comment on your body is going to shake you. Food is never going to be on your mind. You can go to every restaurant, every single social event, not fearing food or not thinking about food. You are the woman that walks into a room and the room lights up. You're the one that your friends go to you because they share everything with you because there's just something about you. Your husband comments like, you're glowing. There's just something about you. And you're like, yeah, just stepped into the most unstoppable badass version of myself. So we are bringing the most incredible badasses to this retreat to rise, to overcome, and to take things to the next level. I am so excited. You're not here for an average life. You're not even here for a good life. It's like you're here to take things to the next freaking level. And if that's you, you can drop a yes down in the chat. You want to be the top 1%. You are the 1%. You care about your health. You care about your life. Yes, Marita's like in cap locks. Yes. And this is why I'm inviting you all to this retreat, because I know what it's like to be in the room. Getting on the Zoom call, it's like I'm activated, baby. But being in the room is life-changing. Proximity equals power. When you're actually in the room, like you can probably feel my energy. It's like when you're in the room with myself and all the other badasses, you know what it does? It brings your goals so much closer. You have an identity shift. You have breakthroughs. Your beliefs literally start to dwindle away. You normalize what's possible, that you can really do anything. And this retreat goes way beyond binge eating. This is a transformative weekend, a life-changing experience. I personally get in the rooms. I told you guys yesterday, I'm flying to Costa Rica at the end of this month to go to my mentor's retreat, because proximity equals power. I get in the room. Your limiting beliefs are going to shift so fast. Your identity is going to shift so quickly. A Zoom call is life-changing, but imagine in person, we talked about these three things: health, relationships, and confidence. And imagine actually being in the room together, you, me, and all the other badasses, and we actually implement everything that we spoke about on this call in person. And we can go deeper. We can take time for your beliefs, your game plan, your health, your relationship with food, your gut health, your hormones, your relationships, your confidence, and actually create a game plan for you so you can fly home a completely different person. So all you need to do to get access to this retreat and to learn more is you just need to message me Unstoppable. There are pretty insane bonuses happening that are a limited time. But if you message me the word unstoppable, I'll let you know all the details of the retreat and the special bonuses that are happening right now. But you must DM me unstoppable, and then I'll share the details and the special bonuses that I'm running currently right now. Here's why I know every single person who's already bought their ticket and who will purchase their ticket is going to transform. You want to know why? When you say yes to an in-person retreat, you know you're going to automatically take things to the next level because you're showing yourself, I got to pack my bags. I got to book a flight. I am so committed that I'm going to go pack my bags and I'm going to go fly around the world. Like, I'm getting in the physical room. Yes, I matter that much. Of course, I'm getting in the room. People who attend retreats care about themselves the most. People who attend retreats care about themselves. They value themselves at a very high level. So you're going to also be around the most incredible humans that are also taking things to the next level. Identity shifts are going to happen. You're going to have you're going to break through all your limiting beliefs. So all you need to do is message me the word unstoppable. And I'm so excited for this life-changing weekend. I want to bring your goals so much closer. I want to work with you guys on a more intimate level, and being in the room will transform your life. If you have any questions as well too, you can DM me. People have already signed up. People are already experiencing breakthroughs because they've already decided. They're like, it's not even till March and I've already decided because my life matters. So of course there's an opportunity that's coming to me. I'm the type of person that goes all in with myself. I'm the type of person that wants to transform my life. So when there's an opportunity, I decide. I'm decisive. I say yes to opportunities that expand me. I get in the rooms. So I'm so excited. Okay, message me. Unstoppable. I'll share all the details and the insane bonuses happening when you join now. There's an expiration for that. And this is not, last thing I'm going to say, this is not a 100-person event. This is a small, intimate group. So there's also limited spots as well, too. Okay. I'm so excited. Cannot wait to respond back to your messages. We have our final third day tomorrow. So be sure you come on live tomorrow because there's going to be another transformative training. But in the meantime, message me Unstoppable and I'll share all the details with you in regards to the retreat. Okay, you guys, I'm so excited. Have the best freaking day ever. And I'll see you guys soon. Okay, bye.